got some things that I want to show you, and then I've got Q&A questions. And like this workbook isn't really one that you have to answer a lot of questions, but it's the work that you do beside this that actually really does help you get through it all. Hi Jackie, how you going? Hey Vicky. And especially in the middle of WildFit too, because you're gonna like things are gonna be different, and then we've got to start to think about, okay, who am I now when like things like this are changing, and when I go out and when I turn up to things and when I go shopping and do sorts of like all different sorts of things, everything changes, I think, when we change the exterior, and then more importantly, when we change what's going on the inside. Who do we believe we are? Because I think sometimes we're stuck in a persona that's not true. It's like everything is made up, really. And some people find that a little bit hard to grasp. What? Nothing. Like how do you get to everything's made up, Polly? I said, well, everything's made up. We make up stuff in our head all the time, and we make up ideas and stories about what certain things mean when really they have no meaning at all. It's just on how we perceive them that makes the story, and then whatever we expect to happen happens. And so when we change our expectations, we can change our life. When we change the story that we've got running through our mind, we can change so much. And like sometimes I know you can't go back and change the past, but I wish sometimes I knew this before, like knew it more before my father-in-law went down his road and committed suicide. I just wish that I understood that we could change the story he was telling himself and how to change that, instead of just saying it's all going to be okay, it's all going to be okay. Actually getting in like, okay, what are you thinking that this actually means, and what if we could change that idea, like, and be able to be a bit more proactive. So that's one of the reasons I do what I do. The other is that I just bloody love it. I love helping people transform their lives, whether it's through their health, whether it's through their mind, or both together. Both together is my favorite way. Like when you work on the inside and then have the outside that matches, people are just more in harmony and get things a whole lot easier. So let's go around the room and share a win first. If you don't want to come on and share, if that scares you a little bit, please write it in the chat and I'll read it out. Share a win, and then what you got from today. If you've already watched it, if you haven't watched it yet, that's fine too. You can go and watch it a bit later on, so you can just share a win. But a win, and what's your takeaway? Who would like to go first for us? Oh, we don't do crickets either. Hello, Jackie. Come on in.
Hi, I'm here again.
Yeah, hello again. Great to have you. Thank you.
Becoming a bit of a habit.
Yeah, it's a good habit, don't worry.
I don't really know what I'm going to say. I think my win is I made it here tonight because had very limited time. I did listen to the replay today, but I was working at the same time, so how much of it I took in, I don't know. But yeah, I made sure I turned up because I signed up for it, and I'm here, and it was a big rush this afternoon. To feed everybody and deal with the cows and shower and eat and be ready. So I'm here. That's my win.
Give yourself that big pat on the back and give yourself a clap too, and really celebrate that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I'm I don't know, since I've started following your page and doing WildFit now, and then all these things pop up, I'm like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Makes you feel better. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
Because life is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Good. There's a great win, and there's a great takeaway. So thank you. Thank you. Who else wants to share a win and a takeaway from today? Come on in, Shay.
So the last time I was here, I was talking about starting my own coffee caravan. I've officially registered my business name today. So that's my win.
Oh, what are we calling your business?
Grease and Grounds, because I'm going to be doing like car shows and all that kind of stuff. So
nice.
It'll be fitting in those little categories.
Good stuff. Well done. Good job, Shay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've got a win in the chat. Carrie Ann, my win is taking the time to do a vision board. Yes, I saw yours. Great job. Caravan is on mine too. That is one of the things that, and not even to buy one. I want to go caravan shopping. I love shopping. I love shopping. So I've said to Craig, that's on our thing. I just want to go shopping for a caravan. I don't want to buy one just yet. Just want to go shopping so I can play around with ideas. And that's what I did with my Lexus. Just went shopping and thought, okay, I'm just going to go and find the red that I love. I've been going out for a while, but just keep putting it off. Going to for a while. Cool. Great job. Well done, Carrie Ann. And things will start to happen a whole lot faster. And because you have focus, the whole thing, right? Order is heaven's first law. Heaven is when you are in alignment, right? So that's my idea of heaven, because you can be in heaven on earth. I don't think that you die and you go somewhere, and I don't think you die and go to hell. I think it's all here on earth. And so heaven to me is being more in alignment with the truth of you. And the truth of you is that you can think things into being, and your sole purpose is to share whatever it is your gift is, whatever it is that you're great at, share to inspire other people to follow their own stuff, like follow their own heart. That's what I believe we're all here to do. But sometimes we have a bit of trouble finding out what that was. And I know I had trouble for a few years. Like I know I say in 2014, I rang my accountant. It probably took me until 2019 to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. I just kept playing around with ideas. Sometimes I would drink a bit too much and come with all these great ideas, and then they would never happen and stuff. But finally I got there, but because I knew that there was something more. Cool. Who else wants to share a win and a takeaway?
I can, Polly.
Hey, Dale. Thank you.
So my win is that I did get to listen to your lesson today, which was really good. I listened to it coming back from Townsville, and then I made it here tonight for the Zoom.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a couple of wins. I was with Charlie to get our braces off, and we organised the day this morning because, like if you go to Townsville, it's quite a big city, so you've got lots of different shops, and it's kind of takes time to get from one to the other. So we organised it so the day just ran really smoothly, which was great. So we had lots of wins today.
Good stuff. Good. I used to live in Townsville. I know exactly what you're talking about. And every shopping centre's got something different. And so if you need to go to Target, you got to go to this one. If you're going to go to David Jones, you got to go to this one. If you want to go to this one, it's just all over the place. Anyway, fun. Thank you. Anybody else? We'll do one more. Who's got a win and a takeaway?
I'll go.
Hello, Carmel. Thank you.
Oh, Polly. Thank you. I listened to the replay, and my takeaway is 1, responsibility, 2, teachability, 3, change, own your life.
Yeah.
Every time I do your sessions, it just sort of reframes things. Thank you, Polly.
Oh, you're
and
welcome.
my win, because I'm home, I've been down the river corridor for a walk.
Oh, nice. And you know what? I had lunch with Petrina today. She came into the workshop and she made
lovely.
me lunch. She cooked me chicken wings. She made this salad and made little, which you would love, these little, maybe not now, but anyway, chickpeas coated in chocolate with some cranberries and stuff. And it was these little dessert things she made us. God, she is a good woman. Came in and brought us all lunch. It was so nice.
She is. She's just lovely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love her. Yeah. She's an ex-client of ours too, and just did WildFit just recently. So yeah, she's just beautiful. Awesome. All right. So I have got something I want to show you just to give you a different context. Some people have heard of Bob Proctor before. Some of you haven't. So I thought I would just give you, it goes for a few minutes, I think like 6 or 7 minutes or something, about wants. We don't really understand why we want things. We want things because it's in our nature. We want to expand, experience more, but it's not that we get it. The part that it took me a little while to grasp was because I was a wanter. Oh my God, my husband used to tell me, well, you stop bloody wanting. All I hear from you is I want this, I want this, I want this. And I got a bit cranky one day and I said, well, what else am I supposed to do? Just sit here and just take what I'm given? Because he used to tell me off if I went out to a restaurant, because I changed the way that I ate a few years back. He would get a bit cranky even if I went to a restaurant and said, can I please have this without this? I'd go and get a steak sandwich, no bread, thanks. And they're like, it's like, why can't you just take the bread off when it gets to the table? I said, why? What's wrong with me just asking for it without it? Oh, why do you have to be so difficult and stuff like? So asking for what he wanted when I started working, because he was one of my first clients, getting him to get to the wanting stage where he was just brought up with you just get what you're given. And so I couldn't use the want word with him because he had it so ingrained with him that wanting was a bad thing. And so that's why I understand why he got so cranky at me. So I had to ask him, what would you love, honey? What would you love? Like, would you love to holiday and do this? He's like, yeah, I could. I would really like to do those sorts of things, but it's not needed. And I said, yeah, we don't worry about need. Like when we worry about need, we're actually limiting, and there's like this energy of, like, it's not a free flowing energy, it's sort of pent up energy, like I need this, if I don't get it right now, there's then blah, 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 blah. So it's about wanting and then aligning with. So I'll share this with you and then let's have a bit more of a chat about today's, and I'll answer any questions that anybody has as well. Everybody can see that, hey, before I start? Yep. Sometimes it just comes up as a line. I've got it wrong. So
this is really a black or white deal. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how many hours you put in. If the paradigm doesn't change, ultimately results remain the same from one year to the next. That's why people go right through their life living much the same as their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents. Nothing changes. Just as prejudiced and bigoted and ignorant from one generation to the next. See, the truth is, almost everybody thinks they're different. They're different. I'm not like them. I'll tell you, if we took and threw us all into a real good fire, we'd all be reduced to exactly the same level. Because that's the way it works. We're all the same. You want to know what's different? Our consciousness, our level of awareness. That's what's different. One person's more aware than the other, so they enjoy more of life than another. This paradigm shift is a huge idea. Paradigms and cybernetics are both control systems. They operate essentially on the same principle. Both maintain a definite course of action and will not deviate from that course that's been established. You must alter the paradigm if you desire to improve your results. Both companies and individuals operate with paradigms. Countries operate with paradigms. Families have paradigms. Companies have paradigms. Individuals have paradigms. It's our habitual way of looking and living. Maxwell Maltz brought cybernetics to the front way back in 1960 with his Psycho-Cybernetics, one of the greatest books on self-image that's ever been written. Well, the cybernetics, it's a science of control and communication in the animal and submachine. And we become like heat-seeking missiles, just cut the same path all the time. It's rather sad because we don't have to live that way. We really don't. Now, I'm going to deviate from the book, and I'm going to show you something that's very important. I'm going to talk to you about something I've learned in this book. I've learned a lot. I've got this book wrapped in an elastic now because it's literally fallen apart, totally. And Gina's going to take this and get it rebound. And I said, no, don't do that. I don't want her to change the energy of the book. Okay? Now, That record, I believe, is 40 minutes of the best philosophy anyone will ever hear. You can order that through Nightingale Conant. That record, along with this book, changed my life totally. Totally. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. It's a great record. And they taught me how to make decisions. I didn't understand what I was doing, but I was following direction. Most people do not know how to make decisions. School doesn't teach us how to make decisions, and neither do our families. Our parents love us so much, they want to protect us, so they make our decisions for us. And then when time comes to leave home, we don't know how to make a decision. We're really screwed. I'm saying, because we don't know how to make a decision. So I'm going to teach you something about a decision that's worth its weight in gold. It is the most valuable idea I've ever learned. I want you to pay very close attention, because this is something most people do not understand. They really do not understand. When Sandy was looking at that house that she was talking about, I was teaching her this lesson. I taught her a different way, but I was teaching her the lesson. Do you want it? That's the only prerequisite to do anything. Do you want it? You don't have to know where the money's coming from. You don't have to know where the money is. You don't have to have the money. You don't have to know where the help's coming from. You don't have to know any of that stuff. That's all irrelevant until you make up your mind you want it. I tell a story in Born Rich about sitting down with a couple in Toronto, and they were they were upset. They were not a happy couple, and I said, I know exactly what's wrong with you guys. You've got no direction. You don't know where the hell you're going. I said, what's your goal? What do you really want? I didn't know. Well, we went, and I kept pressing them. Well, we really like to have our own house. And I said, well, go buy one. I said, we can't buy a house. We haven't got any money. I said, what the hell do you need the money for? You don't need the money. What do you mean we don't need the money? I said, you have made a decision to buy the house. What do you need the money for? You don't need the money until you make the decision to buy the house. And you're never going to get the money if you don't make the decision. Now, really watch this. This is the largest chapter in the book. He said, accurate analysis of over 25,000 men and women who had experienced failure disclosed the fact that lack of decision was near the head of the list of the 30 major causes of failure. There's 30 major causes of failure, and there's 13 principles of success. He says, this isn't a mere statement of theory, it's a fact. Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy which practically every person must cause. See, when people think, why don't they make a decision? Because you're a procrastinator. And they say, how do I get over procrastination? You make decisions. That's it. It's a cause and effect relationship. Emerson said that's the law of laws. If you're a procrastinator, you want to stop being a procrastinator, make decisions. Read that chapter. Read it every day for 6 months. You'll make decisions. It's a wonderful chapter. Now, here's something else he says. Analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark. Keep in mind, he wrote this back in 1937. Disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing those decisions slowly if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money make decisions very slowly, and they change them fast and often.
So that was from A Paradigm Shift. That was one of the first things that I ever did of Bob Proctor's. And the very first thing that I did, which I you can go on YouTube and look for, was called You Were Born Rich. Now, Bob wrote a book called You Were Born Rich. He also did a 10-hour seminar, like it was probably over 3 days or whatever, or 2 days, in a studio, but it's on YouTube, and I can put the link in. I'm also going to give you the Strangest Secret link too. But that's what I did every single morning and every single evening. Now, my kids were like, you got to remember what we used to do. Think about what we used to do. We used to get out of bed at 6:30, 7 o'clock, get the kids up at 7, 7:15, and we would have 7 Sunrise on. So we would be watching the news. Every evening when we came home, there would be some sort of news on as well. Now, one of the first things that I learned was, do not watch anything you do not want to bring into the world. The news is a negative show. Do not watch it. So I traded in the news and watch You Were Born Rich. So every half an hour, when like in the morning when I was getting breakfast ready and getting the kids ready for school, I would have Bob Proctor playing and we'd be watching You Were Born Rich. And then in the evening when I was doing dinner and doing all that, I'd have it going again. My kids used to come out like, oh my God, Bob again, Mum, for goodness sake, what are we doing this for? I was doing it because I wanted to change me. I was one of the most reactive people that I knew. My mum was a big drinker. I actually found, I was cleaning out some cupboards on the weekend and I found a letter that I sent to one of my sisters. Well, I didn't actually send it, I wrote it to one of my sisters because she was following in my mum's footsteps, not with drinking, but in another way. But I used to have to get out of bed. I had two younger sisters. I've got 3 younger sisters now, but I had 2 younger sisters and 1 older. My older sister left when she was 14 or 15. And I'm 4 years younger. So from that time, I used to have to get my sisters out of bed and get their lunches ready and stuff. And I would have to take my mum in a cup of coffee every morning because she'd be hungover. And I'd get my sisters ready and get them to school. So I would never really had a great relationship with those 2 younger sisters because I always looked like the adult figure sort of thing. And I was a bossy bitch and all of that. But I was starting to turn up like that person, because it was already ingrained in me. I was going to become her. And I didn't want to, like, this is the thing, I didn't want to be that person, but I didn't know how to change it. I was already on that trajectory. I was already following that path to be there. And no matter what I did, I didn't know how to change it. And when I started watching Bob, it made perfect sense that because I didn't want something, so you got to think what you do want and what you don't want. You are in the energy of it. So feeling is the secret here. So whenever you have a really strong emotion about something, whether you want it or you don't want it, you are attracting it to you. I often talk to people and it's like pot plants. You have a pot plant full of weeds and a pot plant full of flowers. Whichever one you focus on, you are watering. So if you're focusing on the things that you don't want, those weeds are going to grow. If you're focusing on what you do want, the flowers will grow. That's the only decision that we need to make. What do I want? Which one do I want to grow? And so for me, having a goal then, my first goal, it wasn't to do with money. It was not to do with manifesting anything except changing who I was. I was going to be a calm and responsive mother, wife, and business owner. Because my husband and I had a business. I even put a couch in the business in the front sort of place where people came in and I served them, so that if I was hungover, I could just lay down and have a little rest. Like, this is how out of control sort of thing I was. So for me, changing me, and one of the things that I first heard once I had signed up and become, like, because I went to the paradigm shift and I come out of the paradigm shift and I said, and I wrote in teeny tiny letters, I am going to be one of Bob Proctor's top 1% of coaches in the world. And I was so shit scared of telling my husband that's what I was going to do. Anyway, it took me a couple of days to work up the courage to tell him, and I became all of that. I think somebody asked in the chat, does this stuff actually work? Yeah, I use it for everything. I use it when my kids are in a bit of turmoil. I see them the way I want to see them. I write out how I want them to be. I have a stepmom that she's Filipino. She goes to church, and she prays a lot. So I know that whatever we focus on, we're going to create. So if I need a bit of backup, which is like if I find out that one of my kids is going through a little thing, I send her a message, say, hey, Lola, because she's Filipino, that's Lola is grandma. Can you please help me? This person, like Hannah needs this, or Ryan needs this, or Maddie needs this, and this is what I'm writing. Can you be on there too? And then I just text her back and like, yeah, that one's done. And like my son had eczema on his arms here, like, and it would just come up. It would drive him nuts, and it would just, like, you know how like it looked like a big birthmark, that this skin here was all brand new because he would scratch the skin off and then there'd be sort of brown around it. And for years I'd tried that 1%, you know, that cream, eczema cream, or some sort of dermatology cream. I'd tried that Pfizer Hex. I'd put this other cream on it. Like, I'd tried everything, and that kid would not change what he ate. like, I know WildFit, you can get rid of eczema and stuff like that, but changing what we wouldn't do anything. And up here in town, when he came to Catherine, it was worse every single time he would come home. Now he lives here, he doesn't have it. I just wrote it out of him, and so did my stepmom. This stuff really does work, but it's where your focus goes. The hardest thing that we have to do is not focus on what is. So I've got written here, I wrote wants here and I wrote circumstances. I've got a set of golf clubs there and I've got a printer here. I've got want here and circumstances. And so I really want you to think about, if I'm thinking about what I want, so really do take the time to do your vision board. If you got to think about that you have a mechanism inside you that wants to take you to where you want to go. Like there's like a heat seeking missile inside you that when you know what you want, it just wants to get there. That's what's in all of us. And so you can look at it like a GPS. You cannot get into a car and hop in and put nothing into the GPS and expect to get to somewhere. We've got to have an end point. Where do we want to end up? But we also need to know where we are right now. Where are you? Like, so we've got to know what the gap is, because there is a place. What you want, if you can see it in your imagination, it's a place. But we've got to start from somewhere. We can't just go, oh, we've got to start from somewhere. So we've got to identify, where am I now in relation to that? And I don't want you to spend that much time on there, but just really think about it, because like I said today, you've got to know what you don't want to know what you do want. And our life then gives us moments and opportunities to get clearer and clearer. It brings you things, like we're always getting offered things. And sometimes we get really cranky with what gets offered instead of getting cranky. So that's what I used to do. I used to just react to everything. That's not what I want. Boom, like the kids would not know who they're coming home to or who was coming home from work. So if we can play around with the idea, I know what I want, like once you've got your vision board done, and please post them and tag me in them. Once you've got that up, and then think about, okay, where am I now in relation to that? And then how will I feel when I'm there? And we'll play around with some more of this, but I just want you to start to think about overnight, because you don't write goals because you want the thing. You write goals and you choose goals because you believe that having it is going to make you feel better. Does that make sense? So goals should make you feel good. So I believed, and I still really do, because I still do it, is that becoming a calmer mother, wife, and business owner, my life was going to be better. And I'll tell you what, like night and day, it is so much better. And like with the red leather, I wanted to experience that. I had that car for 3 years. I loved that car. It was just so good. Every time you get in there, like, oh, like red leather is just really pretty. But your goals have to be for you. Not because like my hubby wants this for me, or my mum thinks I should have this, or wouldn't it be cool if somebody saw me with this or anything like that. Don't do it for that reason. It's got to be that it's going to make your heart sing, because your goal is going to demand that you do some different things. Like I said, if you aren't willing to change and accept change, then you aren't willing to, like, your goal. I just don't think you've got the right goal. That's the crux of it, because if you don't want to change, then the goal's not right for you. Now, does anybody have any questions so far? Nothing. I'm doing a great job then, hey? That's cool. It's always good if there's no questions, but I love questions. Dale, you going to push something, or no, you just, no, okay. I want to just read a bit of this here. Like your self-image, let's just back it up, Polly. And I'll talk about a bit this of tomorrow. When I first became a coach and I went to my first training, there was a lady that hopped on stage, and she did a presentation. She was a consultant. She'd been a consultant for a little while, and she was just in great clothes. Like, she just, you know how somebody just dresses really nice, you think, oh my God, they just know what works for their bodies. They look amazing, this sort of thing. So she had a self-image, like, if those of you that have done lesson 6, done the personal stylist, done all those sorts of things, and knows exactly what works for them and shops accordingly. And she got on stage and she had a story very similar to mine. She was a bit of a boozer. She didn't have a very good relationship with one of her kids. Like, my wake up call when I first got my coach was that I punched my daughter in the stomach, my middle daughter, because we were so much alike, and I was just so frustrated, and I punched her in the stomach, and I was not very proud of that, and I broke down and then rang Craig, and so he had to shut the workshop and come home, and it was just drama. And I just thought, I'm just replaying. Like, I spent so much, not with welfare, but we had welfare knocking on our doors because my mum used to hit my older sister a bit and stuff, and I thought, I'm just replaying all this. I know you don't want it, but you're doing it. Anyway, this lady was on stage and she sort of had the same sort of story and background. And she says, I wrote a different version of me and I became her. And I thought, what? She said, I wrote her and I became her. And I thought, oh my God, can it really be that easy? Can I really write who I want to be and become somebody different? And hell yes, you can. And that is one of the best things that I love helping people with, because it is love that you're going to have to give yourself to be able to get to there. And it's love for and understanding for the people around you. And when you can understand what other people may be thinking and may be feeling by their actions, because you find out more about people when you find out more about yourself, then when you understand what other people may be thinking, you can have so much compassion for people. And the judgment can go. And when the judgment goes, there's just ease, and you just accept. It is what it is. They're doing the best that they can. And that does not then impact on how you feel, because you're going to feel your way to your goal, whatever it is. If you want a caravan, you are going to have to align. Like, and if you are not somebody that has the means to, and like what Bob says, you do not need the money for anything. And the money will come as soon as you decide that you're going to have it, or the opportunity will come. Like, Janet, I reckon that you decided a little while ago that you were going to do WildFit. You didn't have to know how. It would find its way to you. But your decision created that. And sometimes we discount things like that. But our decisions make anything possible. When I was 14 or 15, you know, in grade 10, you go and do work experience. I chose a hotel in here town. It was Contour back then. I mean, it was Frontier Resort back then. It's Contour now. I went and did my work experience there because friends of my family, Charlie Griffiths, his daughter was the maitre d', and her hubby was out the back as a chef. So I went and did my work experience there, and I knew I just wanted to be a chef. My dad let me cook when I go to his place and stuff, and so I had a passion for cooking, and I knew I just wanted to be a chef. But I only wanted to do it at Kirby's restaurant. But Kirby's restaurant wouldn't let me do work. Oh, well, not that they wouldn't let me to. I was too scared probably to go and ask them, and it was easy to go with the family friend. And so once I finished my work experience and I completed grade 10, I went and asked if I could have an apprenticeship at this place. Nope, not taking any on. We've just taken one on. And to cut a short story, like a long story short, I went back to school, failed grade 11 by March, got shipped off to Rockhampton and had a bit of a challenging time over there, but was sent over there to go to a TAFE pre-voc cooking course because my mum wanted to make sure I was keen to cook, like, and I thought it was a great thing. Anyway, I ended up in a girls' hostel, and it was a bit of a challenging thing. And then while I was over there, I got my apprenticeship here in town, and I came back. And I just want you to know that if you know what you want and where you want it, you will have it. And I didn't know any of this work back then. It's just when you look back and you join all the dots, you're like, man, I wanted that and I wanted this. And I made a decision that I wanted to have 3 kids by the time I was 30. I had 3 kids by the time I was 30. It's about understanding. And we all know this. When we're born and we come into this earth, we all understand this. But along the way, it sort of gets bred out of us. Just like we know what is good for us and good for our body, but along the way, it gets conditioned out of us. So now we've got to condition it back in. Isn't it crazy what we have to do? Like, it's a little bit crazy, some of the things that we have to do in life. So that's what we're essentially going to do this week. But there's something in your mind, there's a conditioning or a program, we call it paradigm in my way of doing things, that has been programmed in there before you were 6 years old. You did not create it, but you are responsible for changing it if you do not want to live the life that you've been preconditioned to live. And how do we do that? Well, we take one habit out and we put a new one in. We cannot just eradicate a habit. You cannot just take a habit out and expect everything to be okay, because the universe abhors a vacuum. It does not have, like, there's no such thing as space. It's like, when you have, those water things with the tap, and then when you turn the tap on down here, and if you haven't got the lid open up here, the water will stop coming out, because something has to fill its place. So air has to go in there for the water to keep coming out. So it's the same with us. We cannot take something out of us without replacing it with something. And if we are not consciously replacing it with something that is going to get us onto the vibration of our goal, another behavior or another habit of the same energetic style will just take its place. So Bob tells a story, and I'm sure we've all got one. I used to smoke. I took smoking out and then put eating in one time, and then I put smoking back in, and then I took it out again and I put drinking in this place. So if we do not consciously create a positive habit in place of a negative one, we will just put another negative one in there, because it's just too easy. And like, so Bob used to drink a fair bit too, and he thought, okay, I need to give up drinking. He didn't consciously put another one. He ended up gambling across the road. So same sort of thing. I'm just going to mute you. I don't know how to say your name. Krishna Kant. Is that right? Krishna Kant. I've just got to, hey Kelly, so good you're here. I had never spent money on myself and was resisting signing up to WildFit. Once the decision was made, the money wasn't the focus. Hands down, best decision for me, which was started the process of finding me. Paradigms still play hard. I'm ready for the challenge they present now. Self-image upgrade is concept. Absolutely. Self-image upgrades happen depending on how fast you're growing. So, and how big you set your goal. So if you set your goal, most of us will set a big goal and then we'll drum it down until it feels comfortable. So then there's not that much of a self-image shift. If you go for a big goal, then the self-image shift will be really big. And so then that's the work, hey, of consciously taking out something and putting something in its place. Take it out, put something in, and it's just constant work. Does anybody have any questions about what we're going on there? What I've been talking about, or anything that you want to add? Like, I know there's a few of you here that have been my clients and stuff. Dale.
No, I didn't have anything. Sorry, Polly.
Oh, you just put your finger over there, so I'm just like, oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Have you shared your win yet?
Yeah, mine was
No, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, I've been thinking about it though. I've been thinking about it, but I think if I think about it, the worse it gets.
Yeah, that's right. So did you see what Bob said? Like, the people that just make decisions and flip and change their mind and stuff, you end up with a cold in 30 days. So just get it done.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it tonight. I don't want to.
That'd be awesome. That would be so amazing. So amazing. Anybody else have anything? Does anybody have any questions about, okay, come on in, Jackie. Beautiful.
I just want to say something about before when you were talking about, make the decision and find the money later kind
Yep.
of situation. And I didn't really think about it at the time, but when you said that, it reminded me that probably 18 months ago, the property next door for us came up for sale. And we already have a mortgage on this property. And Anthony was subcontracting, earning decent money, but we knew that was finishing at Christmas time. So we did the application to get the loan, and we bought this property for like 370,000 next door. And like a few months later, he'd finished that contract. So we didn't know where we were getting the money to pay a second mortgage, but it just was there. I don't know. I didn't think about it at the time, but when you talk about what you talk about, I was like, yeah, right. We didn't really have the money, and I still don't really know where the money comes from because it's a whole second mortgage and nothing's really changed here, but clearly the money is there. It's
Okay.
somewhere.
Let's play. Where does money come from?
My employer.
Mhm. Do you really think that though?
I mean,
Like, that's what we've been conditioned to think.
yeah.
We've been conditioned to think that I go to work and I trade an hour for money, or I trade a week or whatever, a day for money.
Yeah.
What if money wasn't really like, let's go back years ago. What was money created for? Money was created so that we could save time. Because back in the day, all we did was trade things. So if Dale had beads and I had cows and somebody else had lettuces and somebody else had potatoes and I needed all that, but I didn't want the beads, I would have to go like take my cow and trade some of it for somebody's potatoes, and then hopefully and maybe get some beads because the lady that's got the carrots wanted the beads, so I had to trade some of this and that. Like, so time consuming. So somebody came up with this idea that silver, or whatever the mineral was that they used first, was worth way more than that. So let's start trading this. So then you could just walk straight up to you, go, I'll take a lettuce, thanks. And all of that there was just not needed anymore. But I want to know who decided how much you are worth. Because that's a part of our self-image, eh? I am worth, like, we will not outperform our self-image. So if you believe that you are worth 200,000 a year in income, that is what you will receive. And it doesn't, like, it's not going to come through just one employer. Like, you could leave whatever you're doing, and because maybe you've been doing it for 3 years or whatever, because you've got that set as like a condition of a belief that this is what I've worth because I've earned it for so long, or whatever the money is that you're worth, and you decide I'm going to change careers, it would not take you that long to get back up there to that, because it's been conditioned in you, unless you had an emotional impact which was very negative and it took you down. But the money comes the easiest when you're in alignment with the energy that is coming to and through us all the time, without any resistance. When you're having fun, when you're happy, when you're in love, when you're like giving love, when you're giving out the impression of increase to people, when you are in a really happy state, money will just start to come. And belief. It doesn't come from people, it comes through people. So like you can say, oh, my business pays me. What is your business? Your business is nothing without the energy in there. It's just a brick and mortar thing, or it's just an entity. It comes through there. So it comes by providing some sort of service. But, you know, service can be helping somebody across the road when they can't do it by themselves, their little child, or they're older or something like that, helping somebody across the road and feeling good about it. You will find that money will come in through a different way as well. Have you ever had money just turn up out of nowhere and you're like, oh, I didn't know how, like, that's cool, that you weren't expecting? No. So when I had Maddie, my eldest, I wanted a video camera. I had all these friends, you know, the square video camera back in those days. We didn't have iPhones. I wanted this video camera. It was going to cost $810, and we were on one wage, and like after having two wages the same, and then you go down to one, like there's a bit of fear, right? So I didn't know all of this work, but I wanted a video camera, and Maddie, I think, was probably about six weeks old. 6 weeks old or 3 months old, and somebody came up to me and said, Polly, I want to have, my daughter wants to get married, and I want somebody to cater for it because I used to be a chef, but I want it out at this station. We'll pay for all the food. If you can just go out there, we'll put you up in the accommodation and stuff. If you can just go out and cook for everybody. And we just thought, like, would you do it for maybe $10 a head? And we've got 80 people. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I got my video camera. But like, it's decision, hey? I wanted something, I desired it so badly that I was like, I could just see myself with it. This is why vision boards are so important, like to start to see yourself with the things that you want. And then money can come in all sorts of places. You know, another one is I was living in Adelaide when Ryan was going to school down there, and I had all these friends come to Adelaide because Luke Combs was playing in Adelaide, and I didn't have a ticket because I didn't know where I was going to be when he was there. And I thought, so I went and met up with these friends at the casino, and I thought, we always used to play the poker. She said, should we just put $50 in for old time's sake? Because she'd driven over from Queensland. I'm like, okay, let's go. And I was feeling a bit left out that I wasn't going to the concert. Anyway, I won $810 on the pokies, and then got on to buy a ticket and got on to, I didn't know about Viagogo, how their tickets were all expensive. Anyway, it was $400 for this ticket, and I thought, I'd never paid that before or anything. I thought, okay, I'll just buy it. The money, like, it just came in, bought the ticket, and then it was really funny. Well, like my sister, she's just a bit of a trickster. Anyway, she'd used Viagogo on my phone before to buy some other tickets, and put her own email in. So when I bought the tickets, the email didn't come. So I thought I'd been scammed, and I had to ring my sister, and she's like, $1,000 I'll charge her to go see that concert. But money will just come. Like, because you've been conditioned that it comes in on a Thursday, or it comes in on a Tuesday, or it comes in like that's what we'll expect, and that's when it comes in. Like, some people have an expectation that money comes in when I sell cows. Some people have an expectation that money comes in when I do this or do that, or there's lots of clients, or like, just have the expectation that money just rains on me whenever I feel good. I know that can feel really hard to grasp too, and I really get that. But it's our belief that is going to make things be what they be. And a belief is just a statement that we repeat over and over again. So you've already done it once. Now we just got to keep doing it, and it'll but you don't make stupid things out like, oh, I'm just going to go and put myself into all this. And like, if you don't have a high belief, like my car does the same thing. I did not know, like, I had my business made a $40,000 loss when I ordered my last car. I didn't think I was going to drive out with that car, and then it's like, oh no, money will come through, it's all right. I'm like, what? And you let me drive out with this car? Anyway, it all works out as long as you can focus and stay focused and keep feeling good. And we have to keep changing, hey? That's the main thing too. We have to keep changing what we think about ourselves and what we think is possible. Who else has got something? Like, has anybody else joined any dots together? Because we can't join the dots looking forward. We would have no clue. And like you said, Jackie, you don't even know where the money's going to come from. Well, hang on. So, Janet, what do you mean money doesn't come in when you're retired? Now, so you can all play around and do this little exercise. And I know, Janet, I gave it to your daughter once upon a time. So we think of money as I had $100 note there. I just on the ground there. Anyway, we think of money as the material thing and that's it sort of thing, and numbers in our bank account. What if you started to look around and looked at the things that you get to do and put a monetary value on them and start to see how much money is coming in throughout the day? Somebody buys you a coffee, somebody does this, somebody does, like, if you had to, I don't know, just play around with ideas, because we've been conditioned that once we retire, the money doesn't come. Like my dad, he needs hearing aids. He will not pay for them because he has lived longer than he thought he was going to live, and he believes that the money will run out. But he wants them. Anyway, all of us kids are going in to buy them for him, but he will not pay for them. He would rather sit there and not hear things and be frustrated. And he's becoming like his world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller because he can't hear what's going on around him. Because he won't spend the money, because he doesn't believe that it will be replaced. Money is a renewable resource. It will always replenish itself, like never-ending pack of Tim Tams. Sarah, come on in, say hello. Is that Sarah Heathwood?
Yeah, hi everyone. How you going? I was just going to say, my mum's retired, and she's had a couple of money things come in recently. So she was saying that a walker needs replacing, and so I said, "Oh, your walker?" I said, "Oh, well, I'll just get one of those for your birthday." And I said, "Oh, I took a photo of this lady I saw at the garden shop." I said, "I think this is the one. I think you're going to get it anyway." So lo and behold, through the disability services, she's got $1,000 to spend on a new walker. Just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then another thing that happened for her is that she's got an aunt that is going between going into a nursing home. And the daughter of the aunt said, "Lana, we need you to go to Hobart and just look after mum while we're at work until you goes in the retirement." And mum said, "Oh, no, I can't possibly do that. That's way too much money. I can't have you spend that much money on me, blah, blah." And I said, "Bullshit, mum." If they've said this will help them and they are prepared to spend the money, I said, you need to call them back and you need to say, "What would you like me to do? I'd love to come. If you want to come and the opportunity is there." And, you know, when I first heard this, I thought it was a bit wishy-washy. But another example is the other day, we got a tax check back, and the ball went on the property, and it was enough still to go on a holiday and to get the ball replaced, the tax check. And I was just saying, well, you could think of it as, oh, well, half my money's going in this ball, blah, blah, blah. Or you could think, great, I knew that money would come in to pay for the ball. So it's
always supported.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. So, like, money really isn't what we've been taught to. You got to think about what we've been conditioned to do. We've been conditioned to go to school, and so we eat at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Then we have 10 o'clock feed, and then we have another feed at 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Then we have another one. We get home from school at 3, and then we have dinner, and then maybe dessert. They're conditions. And how many of you are still running on that condition? I know that there's a lot of you that have changed that now, and you only eat when you're hungry. Look, because like we don't have to eat that much, really, when we think about it. But we've been conditioned to fit into a mold and fit into a box so that we all just follow each other. And money is a way for people to control us. So I always have this little thing, care, but not that much. And use money and love people. A lot of people use people and love money, and it's the wrong way around. You've got to love people and just use money. Money is there to help you get what you want faster and easier, with ease. Money comes the easiest when you're in alignment, when you know what you want, when you've got all the cells in your body facing that same way, because you can magnetize yourself to what you want, which is what we're going to play around with tomorrow, magnetizing yourself to what you want. And starting to look at, where am I taking myself off the track of what I want, and where am I keeping myself on track? And the more that you can keep yourself on track, the easier all of this happens. Does anybody else have any questions? We've got a few minutes left. Or anything that you want to add? Decision will create, like you just go, I think of decision like Moses. He wanted to part the water of the sea. It's the same thing. You make a decision, and then the road is just paved, and life becomes easier. It's just when you make a decision, you're like, oh no, I'll go over here, and I'll go over there, and it's just like, oh, it's just like this road that you drive down, and then you go off over here, and then you come back, and it takes you the long way to get there. Just decide. Come on in, Trishna Kant. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Krishnakant. My short name is Krish.
Yep.
Yeah,
Krish.
yeah. Due to actually time, I could not recognize the time on which I have to attend, so I could not attend on the time, and I got disconnected. So I have a question. I need your views and guidance, Polly. When we think of manifestation, working over the paradigm and subconscious mind, I read something about Bob. I mean, he failed and he was in debt till the age of 40, I think. Correct me if I am wrong.
Probably.
Yeah. And there are parents which are, they do not have children, and they try their best, to manifest a kid for 40 years or 50 years. There are so many males and females who remain unmarried all their life. And they try their best thinking and wishing for that. Okay. And there are two farmers, neighbor farmers, has the crop more than the other. They plant the same seed, same amount of rain. I just need your views. Now the second thing is, can we correlate this manifestation, or even, getting in touch with coaches like you, that the law of karma works, that at the right time, all these things come into our life, that we start shifting, or there is no defined time about the manifestation? And also, how do you correlate everything? I mean, the law of karma, the games of the life, and the wishes and the blessings of the god together with the science of manifestation. I need your views over this.
All right. So I like the law of karma is the same as the law of attraction, the law of vibration. Everything is vibrating. If you want to go down the karma road, like it's sort of like the same thing. You get what you think about. If you do bad, you get bad back. If you do good, you get good back. If you think good thoughts, you will get good. Now you've got to understand that we've all got a paradigm way of thinking. We've all been conditioned to think certain ways. And like, I know that I've been stuck as a victim before, and like nothing's ever working out for me. Why do I keep getting this and this? And I just keep creating crap. So I had to start to think differently. That's why my first goal was to become a calm and responsive mother, wife, and business owner, because I knew that because of me being the reactive, all I kept bringing to me were things that I could keep reacting to. So that's the karma part. The other part was the time. No, you never know how long something is going to take. It is going to take as long as you take to get in alignment with it, and to actually believe that it's coming. And it's got to be like tomorrow is Christmas, that the tree is got there, the presents are under it, and I just know that tomorrow, just like the sun is going to come up tomorrow. It's different for everything. It's not like we've gone through and go, okay, a baby takes 270 days and a carrot takes 3 months, or whatever it takes. Our dreams are not like that, because we don't know what challenges we're going to have to hit along the way, and then how long it's going to take for us to get our mindset right. Like, oh, this challenge was actually made for me. to get there, not to keep me away from. So there's lots of variables, but if we don't have a date on things, then if you put something out, I'm going to get there in 10 years, chances are you're not going to do anything at the moment. Nothing will change because it's too far out. We've got to make things in smaller increments so that we start taking action now, because when we act, we instantly change the vibration that we're on. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, just a few more things came in my mind. So do you think that, after, I mean, what I want to ask is, once this karma gets burned, or once the good karma gets arise, all these things happen. I mean, I have quoted the example of a farmer also.
Hang on.
Two
So,
same.
hang on. So I understand what you're saying about the farmer. One's got a great crop, one doesn't. But you've got to understand, like, what are they thinking? What is their tone? Like, one of them could be like, man, farming is so bloody hard and I get drought every year. Like, I've got a lot of people that work with me that are in the industry where the weather, but you can take the weather with you. You can do like, we are so much more powerful than our surroundings, and we create our surroundings by how we think. I always take the weather with me. Like, you just decide and understand that you are in charge. Nothing else can be unless you give it power. Everything just is. You decide if it's good or bad. What you think is good, I could think, well, that's not real good. But what I think is bad, you might think, oh my God, that is not just bad, that is horrendously bad. And if you stay focusing on that, then you're watering that and you're growing that. So what I come to, and what Bob really taught all of us, is care, but not too much. Everything just is. And it's how you look at them, things that make it good or bad. There is good in everything. You cannot have, you got to think the law of yin and yang, good and bad. You can't have one without the other. So if there's something that's really bad, there has to be a really lot of good in it too, because you can't have one without the other. But it's up to us to be able to look and see that. And if some people can't see it, some people can't. My mum is one. I gave her all the things that she could do to change her. I tried to help her, and she said, I'm just too old. It's too much hard work and it takes too much time of my thinking. I'm happy where I'm at. And she is not happy. She's very lonely, and she's not in a relationship that she likes. She doesn't have much money to play with or anything, but she has resigned herself to be there. There is other ways, but she doesn't want to change. Like, her teachability index is 0. So everybody has a choice. They get to choose. But some people don't make the conscious decision to change or want to. I hope that helped.
Thank you. Thanks, Polly.
Yeah, okay. Does anybody else have anything? Yes, Andy, you can create your own economy. Like, it's all about self-worth, hey? If we believe that, like, and think about what we've been taught to. Well, we work all this time and you give your life for the job, and then you get a pension and you only get this amount, so you really can't live anymore either. So bullshit. So one of the conscious things that I decided is I went out into the workforce, and when I started to learn different things and I had very wealthy mentors, I said, okay, how do I know that when I'm not working anymore, I'm still going to be supported with the way of life that I want to live? And he said, well, decide how much money you want to live with each year and then create the super so that it's going to match it. And I thought, oh, okay. So we went and did all of that, did the work, created the picture of how I wanted to live, knew how much I had, and then you just get it in there. Like, your decision will create the fact. Decision just lights the pathway for things to work in harmony. All right. If does anybody else have anything else that they want to ask or add? But the thing is too, we cannot don't know exactly how long something will take, because guess what? You've never done it before. If you have a true goal, you've never done it before, so you don't know how long it's going to take. But the time it will take is for the goal to feel completely natural to you, like the sun is going to come up tomorrow, like your name. when it just feels like that, like it's truth, that's when it will manifest the fastest and things will just keep coming. But you have to love challenges. If you are not having challenges, nothing in your life's changing. But you got to look at challenges differently than you've ever looked at them before. We all still catch ourselves playing at small, Sarah. So it's so easy. Hey, it's so easy just to fall back and then go, hang on a moment. Is this the truth of me? Is this what I did this work for? Is this what I came here? Like, is this all we're here for? Is to tiptoe safely through life and pay bills along the way and then get into a grave? No, we came here to expand and express and find and push the limits and see what we're actually capable of. That's what we came here for. There's a spirit in all of us, and I think it's the same spirit. It's just different and experiencing different things in all of us. And so from there on, it's our decision what we get to experience. All right. So tomorrow we'll be back at 12 and we'll be back here again tomorrow night at 7. And then on Thursday, I do have a hair appointment, which like I have to make my hair appointments like 10 weeks in advance in this town. So that was done way in advance, so I couldn't change it. And I need it done because I've got awards night on Saturday night. So yes, so 3 o'clock on Thursday and then 6 a.m. Friday morning. But you'll have the recordings up until Wednesday next week. After that, it all comes down. So watch it over and over again. Like really get as much as you can out of it. Every day you are different. And you listen, like you've made some cognitions, you've made some, joined some dots together. So when you watch again, you're going to get new cognitions, you're going to get new realizations, and you're going to change some more about you. So just keep watching it over and over again. That's what I do. I'm like watching stuff at the moment that I'd watched years ago. Now I'm up to sort of day 4 of, tomorrow's my day 5 of watching the same thing, because I'm getting something new every single day because I'm changing all the time. All right. Enjoy your evening, everybody. And thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow sometime, wherever you will be. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. See ya.